welcome back on my channel. Today I want to talk about myths about mentally ill people, general stereotypes and myths about mentally ill people that are harmful and lead to the stigmatization of mentally ill people. Personally, I have thought about making this video for a long time, but I thought there was so much to this topic and it's kind of hard narrowing it down. So I've put it off for a while, but then something happened here in Denmark. A mentally ill young Danish man shot a couple of people, so they died, and also injured a couple of people in a mall recently.
We are not used to things like shootings happening in Denmark. We are more used to gang violence, and this is absolutely horrible, and my heart really goes out to the people who have been affected by all of this and the people who have lost their loved ones. But I'm bringing this up for a whole nother reason.
What I find really problematic about this is that often mentally ill people are portrayed as being dangerous, either in news headlines or in movies.
And sometimes they are dangerous, like in this case, he was already dangerous and they already knew this.
And this really stigmatizes mentally ill people because a lot of people today aren't really good at critical thinking. So a lot of what they hear, they believe. Most mentally ill people are actually harmless. They are often the victims themselves. This is sadly not portrayed in news headlines and in movies. So this combined with people being bad at thinking critically makes it so that some people actually believe that most mentally ill people are dangerous, when this is not the case. Talking about this, I want to go into the first myth, which I've just begun talking about now. The first myth is that people with mental health problems are violent and predictable. The fact is, the vast majority of people with mental health problems are no more likely to be violent than anyone else. Most people with mental illnesses are not violent, and only 3 to 5% of violent acts can be attributed to individuals with a serious mental illness. In fact, people with severe mental illness are over 10 times more likely to be victims of violent crimes than the general population. You probably know someone with a mental health problem or do not even realize it, because many people with mental health problems are highly active and productive members of our communities. This was the first myth. The second myth is personality weakness or character flaws causes mental health problems. People with mental health problems can snap out of it if they try hard enough. And the facts are, mental health problems have nothing to do with being lazy or weak, and many people need help to get better. Many factors contribute to mental health problems, including biological factors such as genes, physical illness, injury or brain chemistry, life experience such as trauma or history of abuse, family history of mental health problems. People with mental health problems can get better and many recover completely. I think this one is very important because people think that they can just give good advice, like take a walk and then you feel better. But this is not the way a mental illness works. We did not choose to be mentally ill. And in my case, it's probably because of childhood neglect and trauma that I have mental illness today, because
You might be mentally vulnerable.
if you never go through something hard like trauma in your life, it may not evolve into a mental illness. So you might just carry this vulnerability with you, and maybe one day you go through something very traumatic and then it turns into a mental illness instead of just a vulnerability. This is also about the second myth. I just said that mental health problems are a sign of weakness, where the facts actually say this is no more true than saying that a broken leg is a sign of weakness. Mental health disorders are an illness, not signs of poor character. Similarly, people with, for instance, depression cannot snap out of it any more than someone with diabetes or psoriasis can immediately recover from their condition. If anything, the opposite is true. Fighting a mental health condition takes a great deal of strength. So my message to you through all of this is, please think critically. Do not believe everything you see and hear. And do not treat a mentally ill person as someone without one who just has a bad day. It's not the same thing. Listen to them and what helps them, and do not just presume your advice is helpful. Or find resources about how you can help a person with a specific mental illness that your loved one has. It is so important we do not assume we know a lot about something we do not. Listen to the person, and sometimes having someone to tell something to without being judged is enough. To you, the person might seem well functioning, but that does not mean that the person is not struggling. Do not presume, listen to them. Listen to what it's like being them. Don't just presume that because they seem well functioning, they actually are well functioning on the inside. They might really struggle a lot, but you might not be able to see it. And not believing someone is really, really hurtful for them. Stop the stigmatization of mental ill people. Mental health is widely misunderstood. There's stigma that surrounds mental health issues. The stigma prevents people from getting the help they need. The only way to stop stigma is to learn as much as you can about it. The best way to do that is to dispel some of the common myths about mental illness. So again, it's all about listening to the people with mental illness and not coming with your own assumptions, and actually learning stuff about mental illnesses through valid sources, of course, because there are a lot of sources out there that aren't valid and there just spreads a lot of misinformation. And it's also very important that you're sure this person actually had a mental illness, that it's not just something they say they have. Because a lot of people are also spreading misinformation by saying they have a diagnosis they do not have, or pretending like they have a diagnosis that they do not have to get popularity on social media. I have made a video about this. I'll leave it up in the iCard if you're interested in watching that video about how self-diagnosing can both be helpful and problematic. But yeah guys, that was kind of everything I actually had to say for this video. So please remember, think critically and talk to the person you know with a mental disorder and listen to what they have to say and how you can help them, how you can be there for them, how you can understand them. And alongside that, please take the time to learn a little about their diagnosis. Some diagnoses aren't as widely known as, for example, mine, the schizotypical personality disorder, but a lot of diagnoses are ones that we know a lot about in general. So most diagnoses you can research about and learn a lot about. So yeah, please go and do that, and please remember not to be judgmental. We all have our things to fight with, and do not come from a place where you think you already understand everything. Listen to the person and learn, because we are all different. So yeah guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope I will see you in another video. And if you enjoyed this video and my channel in general, just remember my channel is just about being unapologetically me. So I'm doing whatever I feel like, whatever topics I feel like, so I'm not bound to a niche. So if you're staying here on my channel, which I would love to have you, you are staying for the topics I'm discussing, or because you like my personality and the way I discuss topics. Again, if you like this video, please remember to comment in a friendly tone. Please remember to like and subscribe, because all engagement I get means a lot to me. So yeah, I'll see you soon in another video. Bye guys.